Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Popcorn Problems. My name is Ilan Pressman, and I'm here with my good friend and fellow co-host,
Nicholas DePasco. Every week, we'll make sure you're caught up with the biggest news in movies in Hollywood.
This week we're going to be reviewing the Toxic Avenger, one of this weekend's biggest new releases. But before we get to that, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. This episode is coming out a little bit later than it should have. We had filmed an episode at our normal time. It was actually a banger, I'm not going to lie to you. And we're editing it, and like every 30 seconds, our voice is cut out.
We got visited by the audio goblin, the audio eating goblin. It sucked.
Yeah, it was real tough. We didn't want to re-review a movie just because I feel like that would be less authentic. So we're going to be dropping episode 2 a little bit later than we typically would, which is going to be the Toxic Avenger. And then we'll be back next week with a review of another movie. So with that out of the way, just wanted to clarify, just didn't want you guys to think that we left you out in the dark. Let's get into what's pop.
We have our first lost episode. So we have our first lost episode. So let's pop some confetti for that shit. There you go.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, so we're going to get into What's Poppin', which is our segment where we run through the biggest movie stories of the week. I'm going to start by talking about the box office from last weekend. So not the current weekend, so the Toxic Avenger wouldn't qualify for this, so I'm not going to talk about how it's doing yet. We'll talk about that in a later episode. This is for the previous week. So number 1 is K-pop Demon Hunters, the sing-along event, which is the Netflix's first ever theatrical number 1, and opened with an estimated $18 to $20 million, and it played in about 16 to 1,700 theaters, only in the U.S., and only at Regal theaters. So
crazy situation for just being in one movie theater brand and for just one weekend. Insane amount of money for an original animated film mainly targeted towards girls and a specific fandom. I guess it's like that fandom and that built-in audience definitely helped the film, and also it being released like
the word of mouth
yeah, for
was
sure.
Crazy with this movie. It's already Netflix's number 1 movie of all time.
Saw that. It's insane.
And it has the Netflix's first ever theatrical number 1 too, which is really cool. Number 2 was Weapons. It was in its third weekend with 15.6 million domestically, which means that at that time domestically it went to over 115 million, which is really rare for a horror movie, especially in the streaming era. So I think that's really good for that movie. I'm curious to see how it's going to do like this current weekend. We'll find out, obviously. Hopefully it's still doing good. And yeah, there hasn't really been any horror movies out since then, so I guess the horror crave is still being fulfilled by that movie.
Yeah, we're not going to get anything till like I think mid-September.
The Conjuring, I think, is the next one.
Oh, true. I don't know. When is Good Boy? Do you know what I'm talking about? Good Boy, that one movie?
Yes, I do. I don't know when that is.
I feel like that's coming out soon, but I can't tell you. I don't know. I also, something significant about that film real quickly. It was originally slated for a limited theatrical run, but then because it was so popular, it became viral. They made it for like a full theatrical run, full to well, let's see,
October 3rd, by the way.
Okay, there you go. Which I think is very neat, and I like the power that social media has to, I don't know, really elevate films to that like sort of level where it can really show excitement, in a level that like just wasn't known before in terms of like the time when we didn't have social media. I think films are just like dumped out in theaters and then they were forgotten about in a year. I think that's very exciting where we're living in now, how close we are to, I guess, businesses and companies. It's kind of the whole reason they release like Morbius. They re-release Morbius after it's
yeah. No,
and then
you're right.
Fucking dumped. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's very interesting. Continue.
Yeah, very cool. And yeah, so in number 3 was Freakier Friday with 9.2 million, and domestically it went to 70 million. That's that. So now I'm going to get into the news stories of the week. And I have 2 really cool things to talk about. So first, right now is the Venice Film Festival going on. So we're getting a lot of first reactions of big movies that are going to be dropping soon. And I believe it was today, both of these stories I believe are from today, is that Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which is going to be a Netflix movie, it's going to have a small theatrical release. Hopefully it'll be put into more theaters than K-pop Demon Hunters, because that movie's going to be really cool. It's starring Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi and Christoph Waltz. It received a 15-minute standing ovation at its premiere at Venice, which, I mean, they're always like overdoing it with these standing ovations. I can't imagine clapping for anything for 15 minutes.
No, literally. I just can't imagine like standing there, just like, what do you even do? Who are you looking at in that situation?
Like 15 minutes? That's a long time to be clapping.
I feel like
I clap for 10 seconds, and I think it's too much.
That's what I'm saying. It just hurts your hand after a while, bro. And like that's what I'm saying. Also, if you're like the subject, if you're Guillermo del Toro, Jacob Elordi, whoever, and you're like the person who's being clapped at, what do you even do? Like, you just stand there for like 15 minutes, like, thanks, thank you, you just continually saying thank you for 15 minutes, like,
it's just awkward. I would hate it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I don't get it either, but whatever, I guess.
So I'm excited for this movie.
Very excited.
15 minutes. Like, that's more than most movies. Most movies get like 5 to 10 minutes, which I still think is way too much. But 15 is a good amount. I think that movie's going to be something interesting. I'm definitely going to have to catch that in theaters.
No, I'm very excited for Frankenstein, especially with Guillermo del Toro on the helm. Have you seen any other Guillermo films?
I've seen his Pinocchio.
Okay, fair. No, but he just does crazy things with creatures. I've seen Hellboy and Pan's Labyrinth. Dude, oh my god, watch especially Hellboy and Hellboy 2. Both incredible like creature designs, and not just the design itself, but the way that they're brought to life with like prosthetics, barely any CGI. He has a way with making these things look real yet still like fantastical and cartoony and freaky, and I love that, and that's just what has me so hype about Frankenstein. I think it's a perfect matchup.
Yeah, I think that movie's gonna be something cool.
It's gonna be insane.
I'm excited. So that's that with the Venice story. Another big thing that happened literally today is Destination D23 is going on, I believe, in Orlando, which is where my end of this recording is being filmed, actually. And pretty much D23 is like the convention that Disney does. This is not the main D23. The main D23 happens every other year, so the announcements are kind of minimal this year. This is like Destination D23. So it's not the most interesting news, but there is some stuff that's worth talking about. I, as gullible as I was kind of waiting for them to drop the other half of the chairs for Doomsday today.
Definitely not.
I was disappointed. Let's put it that way. But there was some interesting stuff that I want to talk about. So I guess one of the biggest stories, I'm going to start with Pixar and Walt Disney, and then I'm going to move into Marvel and Star Wars. The biggest thing with Disney animation is that they announced their new animated film called Hexed, and it's going to come out in November 2026. It's about a teenage boy and his mother who discovers he has magical powers. I saw the little like image that they released with this announcement. It looks interesting. It looks kind of reminiscent of Onward that came out a few years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if Disney just thinks that we forgot about that movie because it came out like a week before COVID. Right. But the drawing that, like I said, the drawing that they released with the animatic, I think looks cool. I'm more intrigued for this than I was for Wish when that first got announced. And what else is Disney that came out recently? Strange World. Couldn't care about that movie.
Right.
But this looks like it could be interesting.
Yeah, no, I watched Onward in theaters. I was very disappointed by it as well, just because I really like the world. I really like when they integrate like magic elements, and then they also kind of like, in a weird way, make them boring, or just like not boring, but like just make mundane. Them real, make them mundane. Yeah, I think that's a very neat. I was very excited for Onward when the trailers came out. Then I actually watched the movie, and it was mid, just horribly boring. That like actually boring. I don't think Hex is going to be the same thing. I think it's like actually going to be a magic world where magic is treated like a big deal or whatever.
Hopefully they learned their lesson regarding magic and onward.
Yeah, hopefully. But I think it's untapped. It's an untapped potential for Disney, especially in the animated realm, with more recent technology. Like obviously they've done like magic and like the classic Disney stuff, but I just want to see that like classic Disney vibe back, you know, with like new technology. I really honestly don't necessarily. I would like 2D animation. I don't really care for it as long as like the 3D animation is something interesting, not like Wish. I despise Wish. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever it is, 2D, 3D, I'm just excited to see something new, something interesting, an original IP.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so the next thing that they did was they did a sneak peek at Toy Story 5. They saw people that were there. They saw in the opening scene of the film, which had to do with high-tech Buzz Lightyears on an island. I think they showed a teaser trailer that did leak online. I saw some of it. It looks like a Toy Story 5, I guess.
Sure.
The biggest thing that was announced at this specific event was that Conan O'Brien is joining the cast.
Yeah.
He's voicing a new character named Smarty Pants, which is a potty trading toy. Why is there a Toy Story 5? I could not tell you. Guess we'll have to wait till next year to find out.
Did you like Toy Story 4?
I didn't. I didn't watch it in theaters. And okay. I didn't like it when I watched it. And I haven't rewatched it since. I don't plan to. I think that movie is pointless. I love Toy Story 3. I think that movie blows. I really don't like that movie.
Well, Toy Story 1 through 3, perfect trilogy. Wouldn't have it any other way. Toy Story 4, I watched in theaters, and that shit could have been an email. Did not need to be a whole film.
Yeah, it was bad. I did not like that movie.
It really like my first thought as soon as I came out of Toy Story 4 was that could have been like one of the Toy Story shorts that they were doing for a little bit.
Yeah,
that could have been that.
I know yeah, and Forky was a terrible character. He was so annoying. He better not 100%. Be in this one. Oh my god,
dude! They're bringing him back. They gotta bring him back. Like I'm not saying I want them, but I know they're gonna bring him back. He was the biggest like new character. He was what brought in the big bucks. He was the latest Dibby. You know what I mean? So everybody loved him. I did not like Toy Story 4. I'm not looking forward to Toy Story 5.
He's confirmed to be in Toy Story 5, of course.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this film at all. I think it's gonna be buns. It's I'm not excited. But whatever. I don't care. At this point. You know what? Make 100 million of them. Nothing really matters anymore. Nothing is sacred. Just make however many you want until we have to bring back the corpses of Tim Allen and what is the other one? Tom Hanks
with AI.
With AI, exactly. I don't really care anymore. Yeah. Just do whatever you want at this point.
So the next thing is they gave more updates to Zootopia 2. They showed a clip with a car chase with Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde. And then they announced 2 new cast members. Patrick Warburton, who voices Joe Swanson in Family Guy, is going to be playing the Mayor Horse character. So that's awesome. I love him. And then Yvette Nicole Brown is going to be playing some character. I'm not quite sure who. And then they also showed some more footage for Hoppers, which I could care less about. So I didn't really.
I'm actually quite excited for Hoppers.
Really? I'm not.
I'm
so burnt out on the whole Pixar shtick. Like,
sure. Fair.
I really am. Yeah.
The only real reason I'm excited for Hoppers is because, as an animation fan, the director is the guy who made the show We Bare Bears on Cartoon Network. Do you know that show?
Oh, is that true? I do know that show.
Yeah.
And I like that show.
I love that show. I grew up watching it, and I think. I don't know. I think from the trailer that came out like a month ago or something like that, it doesn't look like anything too crazy. It doesn't look like life-changing or like, I guess, classic Pixar or anything like that. But it looks like a fun movie, for pretty much, you know, with not a very unique art style. But what are you gonna do? I don't know. Yeah. I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited for it. Just as a new animated film, something I haven't seen before. Even though it probably is going to be something I've seen before. But we'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So two more interesting things on the animation side is that Incredibles 3 and Coco 2 were confirmed for 2028 and beyond. We already know that those movies were in development. We just didn't have a date for them. I don't know if both will come out 2028. My guess is Incredibles 3 will be 2028, Coco maybe early 2029. But maybe they'll be crazy and do both in the same year. They do need some money, so who knows. And the last thing is that Ice Age Boiling Point, which is the newest Ice Age movie. I think it's Ice Age 6? 7?
I don't even know. I don't even know, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, one of them is going to be in February 2027. It was going to be in December 2026, but it got delayed by a few months. So there's that for the animation. Nothing really interesting to talk about there. It's just release dates mostly.
It would be Ice Age 6.
Ice Age 6? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite one is the one with the ice. The Continental Drift, I think. That's the best one.
The one with the pirates voiced by, ironically,
Peter Dinklage.
Coincidentally enough, Peter Dinklage.
Yes, that's the one.
There you go. That's also my favorite.
It's the best one. There you go.
100% is the best one.
Yeah. Okay, so last few things from D23, and then we're going to move into what we watched. I'm going to talk about the Marvel Star Wars things. On the Marvel end, all that they showed was a video from the directors of Doomsday, Joe and Anthony Russo. And then Paul Rudd joins the video and then pretty much said that they're filming, which we knew. And that was pretty much it. They didn't really show much, so I guess maybe Ant-Man's going to be an important character in the movie. I don't know what that means. Oh, and they showed a new logo, which is just a little updated from the one that we had before. So really no crazy movements over there.
Yeah. Sure. Whatever. Who cares? I don't really care about Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I like the character like that. I don't think anybody does, really.
I don't think we're really going to get much more information about this movie until next year. Probably early 2026.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're probably not going to get a trailer till summer or something like that of next year. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I don't think we're going to have a trailer until D23 next year because they don't need to promote that movie, I don't think. I think they can wait until August. If the movie drops in December, they can wait until this time next year to drop that trailer.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So there's that. On the Star Wars side, Star Wars Starfighter, which is the newest movie by Sean Levy. Is that his name? Right?
Yes.
Is started production. This wasn't announced at D23. This was announced a few days ago. That movie starring Ryan Gosling. The two interesting things are that we have a few more cast members that were added. Most interestingly, Amy Adams and Aaron Pierre.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
so I don't know what this movie's about or what role they're gonna be playing, but I'm low-key excited to see Star Wars again in the movie theaters. So
for sure.
And this looks like it's separate from everything that we've had before. I hope it stays that way because Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. And it really, I mean, other than Darth Vader at the end, it really was its own thing. And so I don't know. I like Ryan Gosling. I'm excited for
I'll watch anything. I'll watch anything with Ryan Gosling, especially that new also space
Project
Ryan Gosling
Hail Mary.
movie.
Yes,
Project Hail Mary.
I'm so excited for that.
Very excited about that. Star Wars Starfighter. Is that what it's called? Starfighter. Yeah. I'm not too crazy of a Star Wars fan. I enjoy the films here and there. I enjoy the I guess the world of it. I'm definitely gonna watch this. I'll watch most anything with Ryan Gosling, like I said. I don't know if it's. I'm not like incredibly hype about it, but I think it'll be fun at the very least, especially with Sean Levy. He knows how to do a lot of. He knows how to direct motion. I guess if that. He knows how to
direct action for sure. Yeah, I mean, people switched up on Deadpool and Wolverine, but I think that movie's still pretty.
I still think it's good. Yeah, no, it's still a good movie. Like I said, it'll be fun. I'm sure Starfighters will be fun.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, so next up, we're gonna move into our next segment, which is titled "What We've Watched." So, Nick, do you want to go first, or should I? I think you can go first. What have you watched this week?
Sure. I guess the first thing I'll mention was I watched this film, this little indie film called Lurker.
Okay.
It very
Is that in theaters on
Yes,
streaming?
it is currently in theaters. Well, it is currently in theaters, and it will soon be on a streaming service called Mubi. Not sponsored or anything. Whatever. Yeah, it's just this like little indie film. I hadn't really heard a lot about it. There was like barely any marketing for it. What really caught my eye is that Zach Fox, if you know who he is, he's like kind of like a half rapper, half comedian, whatever. He's an actor, at least not to my knowledge, but he was in this film, and I was like, okay, that could be something. So I came in not really knowing what to expect other than the premise, which was a fan starting to what is the word I'm looking for? Like be around a famous person, and like that kind of how that relationship between a fan and a famous person evolves. That's really all I knew about it, and that's all I'm gonna say because the film takes some pretty interesting turns. Yeah, I don't know. Very, very well shot, very well written, very well scored. I think like the music really, really makes you feel not just the music from like the actual musician being focused on in the film, but just like, you know, the ambience of it all, and also lack thereof, knowing when to remove that. Very well acted as well. The main guy, so weirdly normal yet creepy in the most uncanny way.
Who plays the main character?
Let me tell you. I don't have it on me. I will search it up right now. The main character is played by Theodore Pellerin. Never heard of him before this movie. And the other, I guess, co-star other main character is Archie Madekwe. I don't know how to say his name correctly. He was, if I'm not mistaken, the main guy in Gran Turismo from 2023. If you remember that film.
Okay. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He plays the musician, being focused on, and he does a great job. He knows how to. He really knows how to give like an uncomfortable performance, which is really what this film made me feel for most of it. Very uncomfortable, very cringe, very like tense. And if that's like the type of movie experience, that's what I love about going to the movies, is when it makes me feel something that I can't, that doesn't naturally, like, I guess, come out of me, or that it, like, is, I don't know. A lot of people go to the movies to like feel good, to like have a good time, and I love the movies when they do that too. But when the movies know how to make me feel uniquely awful, uniquely uncomfortable, in a way that is so high, I guess, I love that. I think that's something significant to me, and that helps a movie stand out for me. And I think that this movie did it beautifully.
Very cool. What was the movie called again?
Lurker. Lukeer. Lurker. I don't know how to spell anymore. But yeah, that was I really like that film. I think everybody should go watch it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll talk about something that I watched this week. On Wednesday, I was able to catch the 20th year anniversary re-release of The 40-Year-Old Virgin, which is a comedy with Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, who else was in there? Seth Rogen. And let me guys tell you, it was a great time. It was so fire to watch such a funny movie in the big screen. I loved every opportunity I can to watch an older movie in theaters. I'm sure Nick is the same way, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, I just think it's so awesome. And it was just so cool to go watch that movie. And it wasn't my first time watching it. I've seen this movie before. I think it's hilarious. The movie is 40-Year-Old Virgin. You can guess what the movie's about. It's about a 40-year-old virgin trying to lose his virginity for the first time. And it's so funny. It's just that classic like 2000s comedy humor that you wouldn't be able to see nowadays, just because they just don't make comedies like that anymore. That's just how it is. And if they did, it would probably be put on like Netflix and nobody would watch it. But yeah, this movie just had all the funniest stars, and you know, it was just hilarious. Every single scene was like dying laughing. I watched it with two of my friends. We were the only ones in the movie theater.
Damn, that's so sad.
Yeah, it was a little sad, but it was a great time. It was a great time at the movie theater. I don't know when it's leaving theaters. I might have already have left. So if you're able to catch it, if they're still showing it in theaters, definitely do. And if not, still a funny watch at home.
Did you notice anything differently from like the first time you watched it versus now? I don't know how long ago you watched it, like for the first time, but
I watched it last year.
Okay. So did you notice anything like differently, not just like in the film, but just like also with how you felt about it or anything like that? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, with the way I am, I enjoy a movie 100% times better when I watch it in theaters. Always.
Right. Okay.
Always. So like, I just had a much better. I mean, I think I rated it on Letterboxd a 4 out of 5, just like I did last time. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It was just being in the theater with my friends, watching a funny ass comedy. I had a nice blue slushie. It was a good time.
That's that sort of experience you don't get anymore, bro.
What can I say? It was a nice time.
You can't get that anymore these days, bro. Like that's something that can only be like what you said, that can only be lived in the 2000s when that movie came out.
Exactly. And so, it was great. And so that is what I watched. Nick, do you have anything else that you want to bring up?
Yeah. I also watched this, I guess independently animated or independently produced, show on YouTube called The Amazing Digital Circus. It's kind of cringe. I'm also not the first person to talk about it. It's very well known in like my circles of social media. Have you heard of this, Ilan?
I have not.
Okay, so
I'll
recommend it to you.
Here.
Yeah, I'll recommend it to you. So it's very the I guess initial image of it, like when you search it up on YouTube, it seems kind of like childish, I guess, or it's very colorful, very like the characters are very bouncy and lol random XD type sort of humor. But once like the episode actually progresses and you learn more about these characters that we're following, it gets weirdly, honestly, like deep and personal. And I don't really know where that comes from in terms of like I don't know if that's like the writer or the artist, whoever. It doesn't really matter. Point is, it's something that I didn't really expect from a show with these sort of visuals and with this sort of like image behind it. Yeah, and more than anything, like it's very well written, but also on top of that, it's very well animated, very well voice acted. Everything is honestly peak performance, and it hasn't even finished yet. It's on episode 6 right now. I don't know with what frequency they come out. It kind of just comes out whenever they're finished with the next episode. There's usually like a month or so of space in between it. But I really think, I don't know if you would like it necessarily, Alon, but I think I know I like it, and I know it's just very well done. It's a very well done show.
That's very cool. What was it called, and where could we watch it?
On YouTube. The whole thing is on YouTube.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, and like it became so popular that like they put it on Netflix and they also put it on Prime Video. So like there's that. But yeah, I 100% recommend you watch it. I think it's something peculiar.
Very cool.
I'll leave it like that. Yeah.
Very cool.
Anything else you watched this week?
Honestly, not really. I was really busy this week. I do want to say I was on a set today. I was a PA on a short film today.
Nice.
It was like a 48-hour film festival. Cool. So they literally wrote the script like last night. They only found out what the theme was last night. And I was there for most of filming today. I was the boom operator, which was really cool. And it was just a fun time. I'm just going to mention every time I do anything cool film related on this podcast, because why not?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I didn't really watch anything else.
I've always wanted to do one of those like 48 hours like film festivals. I think they're really neat and like just can push you to like an extreme way.
Yeah, it's really cool. It was a good time. So I guess that brings us to the end of what we watched, and it's going to bring us into this week's main feature, which is the Toxic Avenger. I'm going to start with a quick story summary from the internet. A janitor becomes a social outcast when a freak accident at a chemical factory turns him into a mutant. He soon uses his newfound superhuman strength to battle slimy criminals and a corrupt CEO. So, Nick, what did you think of the Toxic Avenger?
I I really liked it. I thought it was great. I'll give a little context before this. One, I was like maybe 5 or 10 minutes late to the film. But honestly, when I walked in, I don't feel like I missed much. I didn't feel like I missed much, and I understood the film perfectly from then on.
Yeah, the beginning is a little slow, which is
Yeah.
why you didn't miss
Okay.
much. But you walked in at the perfect time because that's when, shit starts to go down. So
Perfect.
I'm just gonna say that. But yeah, keep going.
There you go. And other context, this is a film. This is a reboot of a film from. Let me tell you.
Reboot or remake?
It's a reboot. I'm gonna say it's a reboot. I think a reboot. I think the definition is like pretty muddled at this point. I would consider a remake being like I guess quite literally a remake of the original film from like the story and the characters and everything like that. Just in like with like newer technology. That's what I would consider a remake. I think a reboot is using the same like heart and characters and same sort of style to tell a similar story. I would consider that a reboot, and in that case, this is a reboot because the story is not entirely the same as the original.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from 1984, the original film. I'm a fan of that film. I haven't seen any of the other ones because I know it's a whole franchise. I really like the original Toxic Avenger, and so I can speak a little bit on that when the time comes. But yeah, for past context, I really liked this film. I thought it was also quite neat, and I don't know. I'll pass the ball back to you on what do you want to say about it?
Yeah. So I had a great time with this movie. So this movie, I made it on time. Just want to put that out there.
Okay. Just put some salt in the wound, why don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this movie had a stacked cast. I just want to start with that. And that was one of the main reasons why I was excited for this movie because I wasn't really familiar with the Toxic Avenger
familiar with your
movies.
game.
I've heard of the franchise, but I didn't know what it was about. I didn't have any images in my head of it. I didn't watch it, whatever. I didn't watch the trailer for this. And all I knew was the cast, which is Peter Dinklage is the main guy. He's the titular Toxic Avenger. Kevin Bacon plays the villain of the movie in a performance that so took me out of the movie, but in a good way. Like, it was so goofy, but like perfect for this movie. Like, it didn't stick out like a sore thumb. Like, it fit perfectly. Like, I think he was great.
What did stick out like a sore thumb is his fucking hairstyle. I'll tell you that much. I love it.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah, his hair was hilarious.
Dude, it's crazy. Sorry.
Like I said, I didn't see a trailer, so I didn't know what I was walking into with him. So that was so funny. And then Elijah Wood is doing his best impression of like Oswald Cobblepot from like the Penguin.
Yeah.
Wearing a wig. The question is finally answered. Does he wear wigs? He wears a wig in this movie, guys. And
when will you wear wigs? In 2025.
Yeah, and then the other big star is Jacob Tremblay. And so yeah, the cast is great. I think the movie was awesome. I think it was funny. I think it was insane. I think the gore was just so out there and so crazy, but it was so perfect for the context of what was going on. I think, like I said, the beginning was a little slow, but once you get past that, the ball really gets rolling, and I think it's such a fun ride from there. Like I said, the performances are so over the top, but the movie's over the top, so it fits really well. The visuals are fun. I think the prosthetics on the Toxic Avenger himself, I think he looked great. Like, I don't believe it was Peter Dinklage in the prosthetics.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, it wasn't. Anyway, it looked great, and like the voice syncing, what they did in post looked great as well. Let's see. Do I have anything bad to say about this movie? I guess other than it being slow at the start, not really. I just had a fun time.
A few things I wanted to mention. I'm very excited that you liked the film because while I was watching, I was thinking like I'm very aware of what like the tone is in like just the general like Toxic Avengers, I guess, universe. At least in the original film.
Right.
It is this very like jokey, campy, like everything is a bit, and so I was like afraid while watching this. I was like, I'm aware, but I know a lot of people aren't going to be kind of like used to this sort of tone or used to this sort of style, and so I wasn't sure if you were going to like it or not. But I'm very glad that that you do, and that people seem to get it too. Like people seem to get like the sort of tone of it, because in my theater also people were laughing the whole time, like loudly too, and I'm very happy about that. Yeah, I'm very happy about, and I'm also very happy that they kept the tone as well, because like they could have gone like very different several directions with a reboot of the Toxic Avenger, but no, they kept it jokey, they kept it weirdly cynical yet earnest. I don't know. There's a lot about it that I liked. The suit I would like to mention as well. It's a different design from the original film, and when I first saw it from like the trailers and just images in the movie's promotion, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like it. It's very it's very different from the original. It's definitely more prominent. It's more out there. But it grew on me. Once I watched the movie and once I knew what kind of like direction they were taking this character and this world, I was like, okay, no, I fuck with it. I think it looks really nice, and I'm very happy that it still looks like a prosthetic. Like it still looks fake, but they do their best to make it real within the world of the film, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Some of the things that you mentioned. Yeah, Kevin Bacon was great. Definitely my favorite performance of the whole film. He was insanely funny.
He's easily a standout, with I think Elijah Wood being second.
For sure.
He's not in it much. But what he is, he's a scene stealer.
Yeah, I also didn't expect what they were gonna do. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to spoiler category. But yeah, Elijah Wood was great, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it for what I want to talk about without spoilers. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great film. I thought it was very funny.
Okay, so I guess this is a good point for us to put out a spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the movie, or if you have seen the movie or you don't care about spoilers, feel free to continue listening. And if you do care about spoilers and you haven't seen the movie, thank you for listening. So this movie, so Jacob Tremblay plays the stepson of Peter Dinklage, the Toxic Avenger, and it is revealed at the beginning of the movie that pretty much Jacob Tremblay's character, the son, has like anxiety, so he pays for therapists and stuff. So he's already in debt with that. And then he goes to the doctor, and then turns out he's dying. He has a year left to live at most. So then he goes to Kevin Bacon, which is the owner of the place where he works at, and he pretty much asks for money, and then Kevin Bacon messes with him, and then he turns into the Toxic Avenger, and then whatever. That's the basic plot outline of the movie. Mm-hmm. What do you want to add spoilery? Go ahead.
I really like how they kept... I mean, I'm not entirely sure about this from what I saw of Peter Dinklage's character before he turns into Toxie. I really like that they kept the fact that like he's kind of autistic, on the spectrum, something like that. That was part of the original film too, although not treated with as much respect, admittedly, and like with as much care. It was very much like the butt of the joke that the main character before he turns into Toxie is this bumbling fool who's like, as dated as it may be, I very much like the fact that they kept that aspect of his character in this new film.
It's not as outwardly talked about, but you can see that the character is like very shy, doesn't really stick up for himself.
Yeah. Also just like doesn't really know how to operate in like social situations.
Very awkward when talking with other people.
Yeah. I mean, in general,
I think
Sorry, were you?
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I think it was really smart going with a little person for the role.
True.
I think it added a lot to the character. Like,
For sure,
I don't
for
know
sure.
if I could. I don't think I was able to imagine like a taller person playing that character.
Yeah, I mean, in general, these films have always been like very weirdly pro disability, like pro people with disabilities. I actually wrote a paper on it for college about how the Toxic Avenger is very pro disability.
Really, that's cool.
Yeah. And so the fact that they kept like there was the blind lady who I think is the mayor or something like that. No, I'm wrong.
No.
Like
She was the cop that was like investigating the company where Kevin Bacon owned for years,
Okay.
but he wasn't able to like catch them in the act. And she was thanking Toxie for what he did.
okay,
Taking
cool.
them down.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm very happy that they kept like a lot of these characters. I also very much like the changes that they did with the story. In terms of like the beats are very much the beats of the story are similar from the first one to this new one. But some significant changes are that the Kevin Bacon character turns into a monster. That's in this one. That doesn't happen in the original.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. I think that's a very smart evolution of what to do with like the Toxie character and the Toxie, I guess, serum. And also
Well,
film,
not just him, but also his like love interest, like
Yeah, that too.
villain's, like lady assistant, love interest, whatever you want to call her. Like they both take the serum, whatever you want to call it. And I wasn't expecting. I mean, I guess I should have seen Kevin Bacon taking it coming, but definitely not the assistant. That was a cool twist.
And also like the direction that they take it with that, like yeah, he's this like monster, but like they're still like he's like literally dying or something like that, like he's very ill from taking the serum. I like that. I think that was also a very neat direction to take the whole story. Another big change that I want to mention is in the original, the Toxie, before he turns into the monster, he's just like a teenage boy who gets picked on. He doesn't have a family. He doesn't have anything. He really has nothing.
sucks.
Only other than like a
God.
mom, I think, and I don't think they really mention
terrible.
her. Yeah, but then like the story turns into like a love story between him. Once after he turns into the monster, he finds a blind lady, and then like that's kind of what drives him through the plot. Well, I didn't mind it at the time. I mean, this was the only thing that like we had back then. But now with this new film, I think the choice of giving him a kid, giving him like like an actual family and actual like things to care about, I think that's, for me, it made me feel more earnestly Toxie. Like it made me feel nicer, and it made me feel like the character itself had a bigger heart and wasn't just like doing these things because that's kind of what the story needs.
Right.
As much as I love the first film, it also definitely has its problems, but I feel like this film really covers that. Do you have anything to say, anything else about that? I do have more things to say, but I don't want to just like steamroll you.
No, you're good. But yeah, I just think from what I've heard, people like this movie more than the original. And I think I will at this point go check out the original because I did like this one a decent amount. And I'm curious to see what it was. I like cult classic movies, which I guess is what you can consider the Toxic Avenger. I guess the only other thing that I kind of want to add about this movie that I haven't mentioned yet is Jacob Tremblay. Sure. I really like Jacob Tremblay just because like he's one of like the kid actors now that I feel like are maturing into like actually good actors. And I know this movie was filmed like it was like finished in 2023, but nobody wanted to release it. Until now. So I haven't really seen Jacob Tremblay anything recently, but he was great in this movie. I feel like I was really impressed by him. And I'm just excited to see where his career is going to go.
For sure. Yeah, no, he was great. He was a definite standout. I mean, you got a lot of child actors these days who like literally don't know how to do shit.
Who suck. Like they're terrible.
Genuinely suck. Yeah. But he stands out. He stands out in the crowd, and yeah, I mean his career has a direction. Has a positive.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see where he wants to go.
For sure.
But yeah, do you have anything that you want to add?
Yeah, just a few things I didn't like about the film. One, some of the comedy was hit or miss, especially when it came to that one scene where like the people are invading, I guess, the Miss Meats. And they were like, "Oh, this used to be Mr. Meats" or something like that, and it's like this like political terrorism, whatever. I didn't that really didn't hit for me. That I really didn't think that was funny, just because I don't know. It just wasn't funny. Whatever. I get what they were trying to do. Like they were trying to satirize, like I guess political terrorism without really making a stance on it. And like you can do that in a funny way, but it just really didn't hit the mark for me. And also another thing is the secondary girl character. I don't remember her name right now.
Oh yes, good thing.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, it's funny you bring her up. I forgot she existed.
There you go. I felt the same way.
She was a problem in this movie. Every time she was on screen, I was bored.
Absolutely. She wasn't like the most horrible character or anything, but I just feel like they didn't really know what to do with her in this sort of context. You can tell that they didn't really know how to write her in a funny way. I thought, she was a straight man, but she didn't, like, she was also trying to like make jokes or whatever, and it just she didn't really work out. It didn't really mix in well with like the rest of the plot. I also thought most of the, I guess, problems that she presents that are then fixed are either could have been done without her, or just like utterly, it just had no effect on me, had no emotional effect on me. I think she was the worst aspect of the film.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, and honestly, that's pretty much it for me. Other than that, you could tell that this film had like a lower budget.
But I went into it knowing that, and so I didn't mind it.
Right.
I knew this movie was gonna be campy, low budget, fun. And at the end of the day, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to ask you, what was your like favorite scene, I guess, or favorite bit in the movie? Do you have a favorite one?
My favorite bit, you can say yours while I think of mine.
Okay. My favorite bit was when they had this like part of this movie. Working for Elijah Wood's character, is this like gang of like rock band people, but they're dressed so funny. One looks like the Joker, one has a chicken head, one's doing freaking backflips every 10 seconds. I mean, it was so funny. So, I mean, them in general, to me, every time they were on screen, I was dying of laughter. I think they were the standout for me.
For sure.
They were my favorite part of the movie, I think. But specifically my favorite like joke or my favorite moment of the movie is when they unmask the guy in the chicken head, and he's like kind of the most like
oh my god,
he's like the most like threatening one of them. He's the most like violent of them, bro. And then you unhead him, and he has like a tiny baby head. Oh my god,
bro, dude, shit is so absolutely funny. Disgusting.
It was so funny.
I love it.
They let him live because obviously they're not going to kill a thing with a baby head. It was such a good bit. And
then like his little voice that comes out, it just makes it so much worse.
Yeah. He literally talks like yeah, like it was it was
that
funny.
Was
that was my favorite. That was my favorite.
I think that was. I'm not gonna say it was my favorite, just whatever. But I really liked it. I'd say my favorite bit was when he first gets lost and then like he gets found in the woods by like a homeless guy. I really liked the homeless guy. I thought he was funny.
Oh, and yeah. That was a good bit too.
And like his whole like story of like being like, I used to be a doctor, and like, saying like, oh, you only have a year to live, boo fucking who. And then it gets brought up again when the like, girl
I'm not
character.
A doctor.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I'm like, whoever said you that is wrong. I was like, that's fucking funny, bro.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a good callback.
Yeah, that was good. I think that was my favorite bit.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a great film. Honestly, I was gonna say something about the budget. Like, I could tell that there was a lower budget, much like the first one. But I think what they did with that budget is incredible, and also it kind of it's kind of like the whole vibe of the film in general. Like, these movies were never supposed to be like, you know, multi-$100 million blockbuster hits. They're for a smaller audience of people who are kind of like in the know. And I kind of like it that way, you know. I like the fact that there's a lower budget, and I like the fact that some of the effects look cheap, but there's a quirkiness to that cheapness, and I think that's, you know, I can't live without it, honestly.
Nice. Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of our main feature review. Before we end this episode, let's talk about what we kind of plan to watch before we record our next episode, which isn't that much of a time frame just because of how our schedule's playing out right now. I just quickly want to mention I'm going to be finishing the DC AMU, at least before it gets rebooted.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Into, I think it's called the Tomorrowverse, which I'm going to watch those as well. But I'm on the last one, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. So I should be talking about that next time we record. So I'm excited to finish that.
As a whole, how are you liking most of the movies?
So I don't want to talk about that until I'm finished, and then I'll kind of give my retrospective.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I have one other thing that I wanted to mention that I'm like looking forward to watching. It's this show by the creator of BoJack Horseman called now I just forgot it. Give me 1 second.
It's out. I know what you're talking about. That show's out.
I think so. Yeah. It's called Long Story Short. It's just like a show about like a Jewish family growing up in America. And like it focuses on different aspects of their lives. And I don't know. I mean, it's from the creator of BoJack Horseman. Like, what more introduction do you really need?
Very cool.
Very neat. I'm very excited to watch it. I just heard that it was out today. That's why I'm bringing it up. And I don't know. I'm always excited for new animation. I'm always excited for new adult animation, especially. We need more of that. We can never have enough of that. Yeah, it looks great, and I can't wait to watch it, and I can't wait to report back to my next week.
Okay, so that's a wrap on episode 2 of Popcorn Problems. Thanks for listening, and if you made it this far, you're a real MVP. We'll be back very soon breaking down Caught Stealing, which is Darren Aronofsky's new crime drama starring Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz. In the meantime, you can hit us up on socials at Popcorn Problems Pod and let us know what you thought of the Toxic Avenger, or let us know what you thought of Honey Don't, which was the movie we were supposed to talk about this episode. Don't forget to follow, rate us 5 stars on whatever platform you're using, and you can DM us your hottest takes and suggestions to be mentioned in the next episode. See you guys soon. Bye.
See you guys. Have a good one.